welcome back to my channel. I am with Olivera. We are in Skadarlija and she's going to take me on a nice tour of where to go in the coolest neighborhoods in Belgrade, and that starts here in Dorćol. Olivera?
Hi, welcome to Skadarlija. This is one of the Bohemian streets in Belgrade and one of the oldest streets, cobblestone street in Belgrade.
I will show you a nice 360 view. It's really cool. Like when people come here first time, right, they say go to Skadarlija, especially at night, because you have all the live music, you have a lot of great restaurants, and it's about noon, so things are starting to open right now. But
yes, Skadarlija is a home of our oldest and most important institution. It's kafana.
Kafana, yes, the Serbian kafana.
Which is actually like a Serbian word for our traditional tavern, where you can eat, drink, and always you can hear here our traditional live music.
Yes.
Any day or
Every
night
night.
time. Yeah.
Yes, I remember when I first came here and it was just like so loud because almost every table they had their own like little band playing music. It's been amazing.
Yeah, and it's also a point of meeting for locals, not just for tourists, which is very nice.
Yes, this street again. So yes, there are a lot of tourists that come here, but yes, locals. I remember I had some local friends. We had a nice dinner here. It was like a 7-hour dinner. It was just like, wow, amazing.
Yeah. And of course, in the summertime, it's very nice with the gardens, and the flowers. So, yeah. Okay, here's one of the oldest kafanas.
Oh, wow.
2 years it's called. It's from
I think I've been there.
32. So many of those houses, they were like old shops, like three heads, three shashira, the other one. So this used to be a border of the old Belgrade town. This board also,
Wow.
like garden 2 years from 1832.
I've been to this place. This is really nice. And again, you can see the nice cobblestones. So ladies, do not wear heels. It is very difficult to walk down the streets. But you have a lot of beautiful kafanas and restaurants. Wow. Okay.
Since the National Theatre is very close to this street, it used to be a favorite meeting spot for our Bohemians, writers, actors, and so on. So one of them was Đuro Jakšić. So he used to live in this house, but there is an anecdote that he never came straight home from his job to home, but he had to stop always in some kafana. So sometimes he had to wash dishes, or that his wife comes to pick him up because he didn't have enough money to pay his bills and so on. So he used to be a writer and a painter.
Wow, look at that. So this is the famous guy. I always wondered who this person was. Now I know.
Dorćol neighborhood means intersection, and it's old Turkish word because we were part of Ottoman Empire for 350 years. And we still kept some Turkish words. So it means intersection because here were many important roads. And still one road or one street divides Dorćol neighborhood to upper and lower neighborhood. So if you have ever been to Sarajevo, it must be that you saw already this kind of fountain or a tap. So at Baš Čaršija Square in Sarajevo, this is a symbol of Sarajevo city. So it was a present of Sarajevo to Belgrade, so it's identical.
I first came to Belgrade in June 1st, 2022. And I kind of fell upon the street. I was just like, wow, this street is so cool. It reminds me of some other like historic districts I've been to. And I remember getting ice cream at the shop behind me. And it was just like, wow, this is the beginning of something great. It was a Saturday. I was sitting, it was so hot. And I was like, wow, people are just sitting in a cafe, they're enjoying themselves. 3 years later, it's nice to get to know the history behind Skadarlija in this area. I didn't know anything about the different neighborhoods and the history behind it. So thank you for joining me in this tour and not only just sharing the history behind here, but sharing with like the platform. Because I like a lot of expats or tourists just don't know unless you do like a walking tour or a bicycle tour. Because she does bicycle tours, so yes. And the trees here are amazing. Belgrade has really amazing trees, and of course during the summertime it's really great to hide under the shade under these beautiful trees. Do you know anything about?
Officially we have 50 parks in
Oh,
Belgrade.
50 parks.
A lot, and helps a lot
Yes.
during the warm summer months.
Yes. Very nice.
Okay, we're gonna walk Kalemegdan Street, which is one of the favorite streets in Dorćol, and one of the most popular for going out or having a dinner or a lunch, because it has many great restaurants from all different parts of the world. And we start here with the Greek embassy in the beginning. So, and very soon we will see many bars and the restaurants. Also Belgrade and Dorćol, they are famous by its hidden bars. So in many of those buildings there are many secret cocktail bars or even restaurants. So behind Skadarlija there is another nickname which was famous in the 90s because in 90s unfortunately we were under sanctions, and not many people had so much money. So those who had money, they like to spend their summer months in some of those nice restaurants, and the street is, as you mentioned before, full of nice shade and beautiful trees. So they like to park their cars and cabrio cars and so on. And some of the girls wanted to attract those guys, so that's why the street had its name or nickname Silicon Valley, so because of the silicon beautiful girls.
It has a lot of coffee shops, and Coffee Dream is one of like the most popular coffee shops. But here you have some like local coffee shop brands, and again during the summertime, because all the trees provide really nice shade here, whether in the morning or afternoon. And the evening you find a lot of just not only coffee shops but a lot of bars, hookah bars, something relatively new. And sometimes I wonder, like, is anybody working? Because who are all these people always out here drinking coffee or drinks? Which is really nice. Okay, yes, doing business in Serbia, it's all about, you know, meeting over food at the kafana, at the coffee shop, wherever. People love to meet over food.
So the upper Dorćol is pretty hilly, as you can see, and the lower Dorćol it's completely flat and it's next to the Danube River. So in these hilly streets you can find many nice yards, and again shade, cocktail bars, and many historical houses. So since Belgrade was many times bombed, we have different architectural styles one next to each other. So from 19th, 20th and 21st century. But we can say that the oldest house, like this one here, maybe you can film it. So it's from 19th century, it's academic style. So talking about the sports, we have two rivals in Belgrade. It's Red Star or Crvena Zvezda and Partizan. So people from specific neighborhoods, they're cheering for a specific team. And upper Dorćol is up to Partizan, and we can see here one mural which is dedicated to to Partizan. But this is a fan of Partizan, a famous actress Tanja Bošković, and upper Dorćol is full of those murals and graffiti dedicated to Partizan. And if you cross that border to lower Dorćol, immediately you will see graffiti as heroes. This is the name of Red Star fence. We're in front of the cultural center of Dorćol, which is called Parogrod, which means steamboat, because this building was built as a house for the first Danube Steamboat Association in 1925, and it's one of the first modernist architecture buildings in Belgrade, built in Art Deco style. So if you look better, so you can see two wings. Basically, it resembles on some ship, and there is also an anchor above the entrance. And if you go up to the balcony, you would be like you're on Titanic, so you can stay in the ship. Yeah. Nowadays, there is a gallery, cinema. They organize many different kind of events, and there is also one nice jazz bar in the basement. One of the places where you will always find a queue is Bloom. It's a favorite breakfast and brunch place. And immediately next to it, there is a June, Russian-owned bar, which offers a different kind of concept. We are now in front of the museum of Vuk and Dositej. Vuk gave us our modern written Serbian language, so he reformed our language, and Dositej was also linguist, philosopher, and the first minister of education. So this house was built in the beginning of 18th century, and it's one of two oldest private houses which survived our history and still stay here. So it was turned to the museum after the Second World War, and it shows how the Ottoman houses, or also Balkan style architecture looks like. There was always like a high yard around the house, and the idea was to protect your private life, so you couldn't see what's going on in the yard.
Because you know, I am learning Serbian, Cyrillic, and Latin, and my book that I use, Learning Serbian for Foreigners, I didn't know that the founder, he modernized the language. What exactly does that mean, modernize?
Yeah, he was collecting spoken language, poems, and so on.
Okay.
So he gave our written form. Yeah. And
Yeah.
he modernized Old Slavic
Okay.
language. Yeah.
Okay. And if you have been following me on my TikTok and joined me on my Serbian Cyrillic lessons, I do know how to write in the Serbian Cyrillic. So this is amazing. And this guy's his home, thanks to him. It's amazing for foreigners like myself to learn how to read and write Serbian Cyrillic and in Latin. Not in the cursive, that's a bit too much, but it's really amazing to see the person and where he lived and the life that he built here. Beautiful stuff, very nice.
Here you can drink hot and cold chocolate.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. It's a cute store. Very nice.
Again, one nice bar and the gallery.
Beautiful. Good. Okay, so we are in the Kalemegdan Fortress. This is probably one of the most popular places if you're going to come to Belgrade to walk and explore. There's a lot of history in this fortress, and I recommend having like a sun umbrella, sun hat, because in the summertime it gets very, very hot. While there are a lot of trees, there's not a lot of shade here. So we are at, I would say, like one of my favorite monuments in Olivera. You can talk about, because here you see this beautiful statue of the French honoring the Serbs that helped them in, I guess, World War II.
In both World Wars.
In both World War One and Two.
In both World Wars, and it's a piece of art from Ivan Meštrović, who also did the other symbol of Belgrade, the Victor Monument in the fortress. And he was favorite and royal and communist artist, but he also did some thing in USA.
Ah, okay. Let's get a closer look, and she can tell us more about this beautiful, let me go over there, art piece.
Yeah, definitely it's representing France and the
Yes.
strength of this woman who is ready to fight. And just across the street, it's also French embassy, one of the most beautiful embassies. Belgrade is a very old city. It has a 2,000-year-long history, but everything what Belgrade was until 19th century was only in the walls of the fortress. So you can imagine that 19th centuries Belgrade was only here. So it was founded by Romans in the 1st century, but Slavic tribes came here in 6th and 7th century, and our first Serbian independent country, we got it as a present in 15th century. So we built a very strong fortification here to protect from Ottomans. But anyhow, Ottomans took it in the year 1521. So in the next 150 years, the fortress was pretty much neglected. And then when Ottomans were retreating from Europe, on that way, they were back here and they rebuilt it. Also, Austrians were spending here some time. They occupied it in 18th century and they built some parts of the fortress. So today what we can see mostly it's from 16th to 18th century built. In the background, I hope that you can see the confluence of the longest Yugoslavian river, which starts from Slovenia and flows to here. It's the Sava River, and the Danube, a huge European international river, which runs to the Black Sea. So, and at some part, it makes a natural border between Serbia and Romania. But you can see now the strategic location of Belgrade and why the city was built here.
All right, so we are at the end of our tour of where to go in Belgrade. So Olivera, thank you so much for taking me and everyone around Dorćol and ending here in Kalemegdan Fortress. This is one of the highlights for those that want to come to explore Belgrade, but a lot of locals definitely hang out here. They play chess here. There are a lot of cool festivals here. A lot to just be connected with nature. And if you plan to come to Belgrade, you can connect with Olivera on Still in Belgrade. She does walking tours, bicycle tours, graffiti tours in Dorćol. There's a lot to see and explore with her. So thank you so much.
Thank you too.
All right, ciao, ciao. Bye.